I even opened anything else. I'm just gonna start streaming and to see what is gonna go down. Let me see here. Just try and open this. All right, so I'm convinced that my internet's okay. Um, Let me see. Okay, trying the sound test again. Should be able to tune into my own stream and hear it. Fingers crossed. Looks much better at the present moment. All right, that's good. My own stream and hear it. Okay. Fingers crossed. Looks much better at the present moment. Okay, right, cool. Thanks good. For the feedback, Charlie. I'm watching my own stream. It looks like it's working. Crossed. Looks much better at the present moment. Okay, right, cool. Thanks cool. For the feedback, Charlie. Oh my god, that echo is gonna continue. No freezing thus far. Okay, all right, cool. I think the reboot did it. I don't know what the issue was. Yeah, luckily I have, at least I would consider, a beefy laptop, so it was a quick reboot. Charlie's Beats, are you making a joke or do I need to refresh? I don't think he's joking. I think, based on what I'm seeing as well in my browser locally, everything looks fine to me now. I don't think he's joking. I think so. Yeah, I see my video going and my audio was good. So okay, all right. Yeah, I think I'm okay. All right, thanks, guys. Well, that was unfortunate. My apologies. Tech issues. I'm glad we kind of got them sorted. Like, what was that, within 10 minutes? Probably. I guess 15 minutes, maybe, is more accurate. But all right, okay. Anyway, welcome in Charlie's Beats, Orion Send, Mike 2600, and how are you guys doing today? I guess while we're here, before we do anything major, let's shout out our friends Charlie's Beats, Mike 2600. I forgot. Orion, are you are you a streamer? All right. Okay. All right. Yes, those are photo. Okay. Ryan said, yes, those are two real fortunes that got the same time. Okay, interesting. All right. Guys, we're not following our friend Charlie's Beats. Charlie's Beats, I would call him a famous Twitch music chatter. And because I basically see Charlie in every. Charlie has streamed before, but I haven't seen Charlie stream in a bit. So, Mike 2600, another magician friend of the stream, and Mike 2600 streams DJ music on stream, but is also a magician. So please give our friend Mike 2600 a follow. Blah 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 blah. Oh wait. I watched the Charlie Brown Christmas special yesterday. So. Wah 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 wah. Let's see here. All right, then. I appreciate it. I don't make content here yet. Oh, okay. I gotcha. All right. Well, you said yet, so maybe one day. All right. First things first. I'm gonna have to put on my cheating gloves. I was going to put them on, but then we had the tech issues. So anyway, hopefully everything is okay at this point. Oh wait, this is not the one I opened yet. I should grab the other one. Wah 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 wah. Wait, you have an emote for that? I should not be surprised. Oh, it's Jerwoke Wah. Okay. Wah 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 wah. So yeah, we watched the Charlie Brown Christmas special, and how the Grinch Stole Christmas, the original cartoon with my 3-year-old. So she was super fascinated. The one good thing that I really think will benefit me in the long run is that my kid has the patience to sit through and watch like an entire segment of show or movie, and based on how her patience is, it looks like she'll probably be able to handle longer movies. So I'm really happy about that. she was able to watch both of these basically back to back without an issue, and she was asking questions and talking about stuff on the screen. I'm like, yay, inquisitive kid. All right. So let's see. Orion says, should I have a display because it's probably an issue on my end if everyone else sees something the app has been malfunctioning all day. I mean, I think you should be able to see currently my video. So it's currently my video and chat on my right side, but your left side. If I switch to magic mode, you should be able to see this. But yeah. So yeah, I'm not sure, man. If Adams 07950, welcome in, Adam. How's it going? So funny story. Adam sent me a picture uh, that Adam got a selfie with Shin Lim from a long time ago. So I thought it was maybe like right away, but I was like, wait. Oh no, okay. So all right. Anyway, so I want to put in a trick request for Magician's Choice because I have a brand new trick for Christmas and it is not published anywhere, but it will be published tomorrow on YouTube. So I figured I should do that one first. But anyway, how's everybody doing today? How are you? Um, Happy holidays. Hopefully everybody's having a nice time. I am getting some snow here. It has snowed for the last couple of days. And hopefully everybody has had a wonderful weekend. Orion says, right, I'm going to assume I need to re-enter since no one in chat has responded and I have nothing else. Oh, yes. Yes, please refresh. Okay. Cool. Sorry, yeah, if I was saying stuff, I guess I was just responding to chat assuming that people could see that. All right. Cool. I guess we'll give people a minute to settle in. But yeah, the inspiration for today's question, Christmas song. Yeah, what's your favorite Christmas song that has released in the past 20 years? Because I watched a YouTube video where most Christmas songs that are people's favorites tend to be like older Christmas songs, and there's a reason for that. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And so the last Christmas songs that I remember that became favorites that are played like everywhere, all came from the 90s. So I'm like, all right, what's a newer Christmas song, right, that people like? Okay. I guess in the interim, I do want to revisit something that I brought up a couple of streams ago before I do the first trick. So remember I had found this puzzle ball. Well, since then I've taken apart the puzzle ball and I know how to piece it back together. So let's just do that really quick and then I'll do the first trick. All right. Okay, so here's how you take out the first piece. It's like a piece that slides out from this, and then we're going to take this one out, and then we're going to take, let me see here, now from here, this is a tricky thing because you actually have to push a piece that then slides out, and then you can then remove a couple of other pieces. So if you didn't push that, you won't be able to remove it. And then from here, you do this, and then you do this, and then you've got these. Okay, so here's all of the pieces to this puzzle ball, and it doesn't look like, yeah. Orion sent, ta-da! I see and hear the puzzle ball. Yay, success. All right, excellent. I didn't start the trick because I was like, all right, let's give people a minute to hopefully resettle. But I was like, okay, let me just show something on screen. All right, so now I know how to put the puzzle ball together. So let's put the puzzle ball together, and then I'll do the first trick, which is quote unquote a warm up, but it's actually a brand new trick. So all right, so now we're gonna attach this, and like if you just look at these pieces, right, like there aren't really any. It's not super easy to detect exactly where and how it fits in, but so that one can go in either side, and by symmetry it doesn't really matter. It only matters when you put this one in because it has to line up with the purple one on the other side. So we're going to do that. That goes here. All right, cool. Now, this is the tricky part. You have to then slide this part to then insert the next two pieces. And so based on how you put in the other two, now if you get another puzzle one, the colors will be all different, so you can't really refer to them like that. I don't really have a naming convention for any of these, so now I can close it by pushing it down like this, and then now we can place this one back in, and then pulling this up, and then finally the last piece is this one that can slide through and kind of locks everything into place. So now nothing else can slide out. The only sliding thing is that way, but most of the other pieces slide. Anyway, so there we go. Ta-da! All right, cool. Whew! All right. Okay, guys. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Sorry about the delay. But anyway, thank you for those of you who stuck through that with me, and thank you for anybody who helped me out with the technical diagnosis. So, Orion said, I loathed these things as a child. Sincerely, I would trade them for vegetables at lunch. I would get so much broccoli/peas. Oh my God. Well, I mean, as an adult, I like vegetables, but yeah, as a kid, I don't. All right, so I have a trick. It's a Christmas themed trick. It's not so much like a trick as it is a story. So, oh dear, our hair and facial hair match. What is that? I mean, I've been growing this hair out for like the year, so. But anyway, all right. So brand new trick, Christmas themed, and here we are twinning. Oh, okay. I got to Durkee Blaine. But by the way, welcome in Durkee Blaine. How's it going? So here we have a mom and a dad, and they got presents. They got 4 presents for their 4 kids, and we're gonna go ahead and hide these presents off in the closet over here, and then let's introduce you to all the kids. So we have the 2, 3, 4, and the 5. We can consider them the 2, 3, 4, 5-year-old kids, but importantly, younger kids and the older kids. But when these parents decided to say, hey, kids, you need to follow our directions when we give directions, we might sometimes not see the 5 or the 4-year-old as much, but they're the older kids. You would expect that they would understand and know to follow directions, but oftentimes the parents are just with the 2 and the 3-year-olds because, well, the 2-year-old can't be left to themselves and the 3-year-old just barely. But the 4 and the 5-year-olds, we typically won't see them because they are off doing their own thing because they're old enough they end up running around without any guidance or supervision. But let's say we get to a point in which, hey, look, all of the kids need to get ready for dinner time. And so, hey, kids, let's get ready for dinner time. They might see that here's the 2-year-old, here's the 3-year-old, but of course the 4 and the 5-year-old are nowhere to be seen. And so, this persists for months, and so we'll end up seeing the 2 and the 3-year-old continue doing things that the parents ask, but the 4 and the 5-year-old do not. So here, what we have now, so the 3-year-old obeys for, hey, it's bath time. Let's go take a bath. And actually the 2-year-old actually comes by as well. And as it turns out, the parents say, hey, we're going to need to take a look at the 4 and the 5-year-old. And they come over here, and as it turns out, these are not the 4 and the 5-year-old. These are the 2 and the 3-year-old. And so the 4 and the 5-year-old are really not listening. So the parents are like, hey, okay, we're going to get ready to go to Christmas Day to celebrate with the relatives. And okay, so let's take a look at all the gifts that they bought. And so these are all of the gifts that they got. So there are 8s and 9s representing, so diamonds is like money, right? So those are the expensive gifts. And then the hearts, it's like the gifts of love. So they're going to say, hey, let's divvy up these gifts in a way that makes the most sense to kind of, teach our kids a lesson so that they listen. So that they saw that gift was most appropriate for the older kids. And so let's take a look at the next gift. And so this one is appropriate for the younger kids. And then this next gift appropriate for the older kids. and then this last gift appropriate for the younger kids. And so they all go to the relative's house. They end up going to open gifts, and the two older kids, they have been acting very unruly for months, and so they no longer appear as though the 4 and the 5-year-old. They're going to appear as jokesters. And if those of you into magic, there's like can see where this is going. They're not their normal selves, they are jokesters, and here they are being represented by the two jokers. And when they go and open their gifts are replaced not by fun amazing gifts. They are 2 lumps of coal. There's a large lump of coal and a small lump of coal. And so the parents are like, okay, here kids, the younger kids, and now they get to open their gifts, and they take a look at their gifts. Well, they took all their gifts and they gave all of them to the younger kids. And that, my friends, is a trick that has no name. I just came up with it last night. I just recorded it right before stream. And that's the first time I performed it on stream. So, Merry Christmas. And lesson to your kids. Kids, listen to your parents and behave. Otherwise, you'll get lumps of coal. All right. So let's see. Orion Sen says, "I loved veggies. I won on all counts." Oh, Orion, that is excellent. Yeah, as a kid, I did not like veggies. I like veggies now, but there was a long journey between liking veggies now and not liking them. Orion Sen, wow, that's very well-behaved 4 to 5-year-olds. I mean, could be worse. Orion says, excellent. Durkee Blaine, thank you kindly for the applause. Orion Send, thank you kindly for the claps. So yeah, if anybody is wondering, yes, that is an impromptu card trick. You can do it with any deck of cards. There's a little setup at the beginning, but for the most part, inspired by things such as, if anybody's a... E-Room, welcome in. How's it going? Thank you for the bang, E-Room. Yeah, it's a combination of a couple of tricks. If you guys are familiar with Dr. Daly's last trick, a couple of tricks where you're transposing different piles of cards. I think if you've seen me do, what is it, Birds of a Feather, it uses some of the similar concepts as that one. So yeah, it's hi Nam, hi E-Room. Guys, if you're not following our friend E-Room, please give E-Room a follow. E-Room, also known as the Pope of Indiana, streams a bunch of different things, such as in-real-life streams right around where he lives, community games, or just opening random things like Kinder Eggs. So definitely give E-Room a follow if you're not already. All right, cool. So let me see. All right, so now that I've confirmed that my stream is working, that's good. Let me open up. I didn't even open up StreamerSonglist yet. And then, okay, there we go. Boom, okay. I'm glad that I quote-unquote nailed the brand new trick. Anyway, I did make a kind of mistake during it, but it wasn't like a magic one. It was like a presentational one. So, let's see. Ugly letters, says E-Room. Nom nom nom. And let's see. Orion said, my disability software is malfunctioning, so apologies for the weird text malfunctions. Yeah, no worries. If if you put something in chat and it doesn't make sense, we can just ask you for clarification. That's fine. All right, so the queue is empty. If anybody would like to, let me see here. Trick list. If anybody would like to request a trick, feel free. Otherwise, I can add a couple and / or talk about some of the things that I delved into. So, for those of you who don't know, I do like Rubik's Cubes, and for Cyber Monday, I found a deal where I got 3 different kinds of cubes for a relatively cheap price. So here I got a brand new 3x3. So everybody's seen me solve this, or not this specific one, but like This one doesn't have a logo on any side and it turns a lot more nicely. And importantly, the colors are not stickers. So like on this one, these are all stickers. It's more like this one where they are not. Let's see. Orion says it has put really questionable words to, so it pops up once again, not intentional. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. I get it. Autocorrect, by the way, has totally messed up some chats that I've sent to people over the past, year or two. Sometimes it's hilarious. Most of the time, I'm just chatting with my friends, and they're like, "Did you mean to say this?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, yes." But this came in a packet of three, and the other two that I got were a 2x2, which is basically one of these. I don't know how to fully solve this by myself yet, but I can solve it referring to the instructions. And then similar thing with this one, and this one is called a pyraminx. So it's basically a pyramid, so there's four different colors. And I can solve this with a little bit of help, also referring to the instruction sheets. So here are the instruction sheets for the 2x2 and the 3x3. But I can mostly solve it, except for like the final like state algorithm, basically. Okay, cool. So, all right, I see we have a trick requested. Let's go ahead and, oh yeah, and I was just using that deck of cards because that was the deck of cards that I used for the initial recording, but we can actually just do a trick using the Twitch deck. So we can perform Adam's request with the Twitch deck. All right, first things first, let's grab all the kings because we're going to need them. And then let's see, Adam, if you would like to select a card, go ahead and name a card besides one of the kings because I'm going to need all four kings to do the rest of the trick. But feel free to name one and we'll use that for the trick. Orion San says, I had one of those pyramid ones, but it had images. Oh, memory unlocked. Oh, okay, yeah. I've seen someone. Jack of Diamonds, says Adam. All right, cool. Let's go find the Jack of Diamonds. Here's the Jack of Diamonds. And so here is what we are going to do. We have the four kings here and the Jack of Diamonds here. And what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn over all of these kings here. And what we will do is I'll leave the Jack there. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and place these two kings off to the side over here. I'll take the Jack. Hold on. We're going to take the Jack and place it with the red kings. So here we've got 1, 2, 3. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and smash these together. Now those red kings are going to work their magic because, as it turns out, it looks like that they have made the Jack disappear and reappear over here between the two black kings. Orion says, I have a request though, but per usual it's general. Ah, I see. Orion, yeah, when this trick is over, feel free to put it in chat and we can discuss. All right. I know that may have happened pretty quick, and then I also wasn't super happy with how that went, so let's go ahead and do that again. So here we have the Jack of Diamonds. We have the four kings. Last time I turned all of the kings face down, but this time let me leave all of the kings, the black kings face up. And let me instead, this time, let me grab the black kings. I'm going to place the Jack of Diamonds in between the black kings this time. And now we'll smash the red kings together. And I don't know if you can tell, but there's actually now only one card. And not only that, the one card is neither of the red kings. It is the Jack of Diamonds. And you're probably wondering, wait, where are the red kings? Because there's only one card over here. Well, if we just hold the card over here by the edges and just pull 1, 2, you'll see that it becomes two cards, and they are both the red kings. And that, my friends, is I know Kung Fu. I did fumble a little bit in the first half, but I don't think I gave away anything, so that was fine. Um, and then also, I think, was that a boss trick? I think that was a boss trick, and I kind of hesitate to take it off of the boss trick list because I technically messed up. But let me see here. Oh man. Oh, because I rebooted my machine. None of my stuff is open. Thank you kindly for all the claps. E-Room, Adam, Orion. Thank you so much. Thank you kindly for the claps. Alright, let me see. How was that? Oh, I know Kung Fu was on the boss trick list. So, okay, we found the boss. We beat the boss, I'll say, because I technically completed it and I was generally happy with it. But I'll leave it on the list because it wasn't, like, perfect. Alright. Guitar solo, says Barney of the Rubble. Well, thank you for the attempt at requesting a guitar solo, but I'm not ready to perform a guitar solo. I have guitars. I actually don't know if you can hear it, but also I've heard that if I play it at night, my kid might wake up. So, but welcome in, Barney of the Rubble. How's it going? All right, cool. Okay. There was a trick that I've not done in a very long time, I think. Let me see when the last time I did it was. I have not done this trick for 2 months, so I guess it's not been forever, but let's see. Orion says, "Oh, my general request idea is let's just get nerdy and a trick using one of the nerdy decks like Magic the Gathering or Star Trek or something like that." Oh, okay. Um, okay, because I recently cleaned up some stuff. Those cards are in a box slightly further away from the table. So hold on, let me just. I'm still connected via audio, but you won't see me while I'm searching for it over here. But hang on, I should be able to grab it. Nope, those aren't it. Are they over here? Okay, I found the box. All right, coming on back. Coming on back. All right. Let's see here. What do I have? I have handy Star Trek, Magic the Gathering. I mostly have Magic the Gathering. I have a few Pokemon cards in here. Not many. There's like just a very small handful. Oh yeah, these cards are not very good. Okay. Of course, I make it randomly difficult. Oh, Orion said, "Oh, okay. Oh yeah, that's right. Of course, I make it random." No, no, no. It's okay. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, yeah, we could do something with. Let me see here. Let me see. I'm not sure what I did last time, but let's. There's a handful of tricks that I think work really well with these magic cards. Okay. Let's see here. La la. Oh wait. Okay. Let's start with this. Red packet, black packet. All right. Let's start with this. Oh yeah, let me face the cards at you guys. Okay. All right, so this one is called red packet, black packet, and for the purposes of this, I'll just be using 8 cards. So here I have some Magic the Gathering cards. Now, black packet, red packet. With a regular deck of cards, you just use like black spot cards, red face cards or something. So here I'm just going to be using swamps. So let's place a swamp down here. Let's place another swamp over here. Third swamp there, and then last swamp over here. And then the other 4 cards are quote-unquote red. Now, for anybody who's actually into Magic, yes, I know that the basic lands are not actually colored, but they produce colored mana of that particular thing. So these are all mountains. So mountain, 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 mountain. Let's do something interesting. I'm going to go ahead and take one of the mountains, place it out, and I'm going to scoop up one of the swamps like this. And all I have to do is snap, and actually they will all appear as though they're mountains. I know, interesting, right? If you missed that, that's okay. We'll do it again. Look, I'm going to take one of the mountains out. Let's go ahead and scoop up a swamp, place it in here. If I snap, they're all going to appear as though they're mountains, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Some people believe that I have to do it only 1 card at a time, but actually I can do 2 at a time. See, look, so I'll take 2 of those, place them out, and I will scoop these last 2 swamps in together with these mountains. And look, if I snap, if I show you, you're still going to see 4 mountains. So a lot of people are wondering, hey, where are the swamps? If anybody wants to guess where the swamps are, feel free. Orion Sen says MTG is great because even if they make 0 sense to you, they look cool / pretty. I mean, so the reason why I use basic lands is that it's very easy to identify, like the cards, because you just see like a symbol basically. If it's like cards with text and you can't really read the name and stuff like that. So anyway, a lot of people guess that the swamps would then be down here, but I don't know. Did you guys see me use the sleight of hand? I don't know if you guys saw me use the sleight of hand. Did you guys see me use the sleight of hand? Because, like, I don't know if you know, but I used sleight of hand. Look, I'll prove it to you. I'm going to prove to you that I use sleight of hand for that trick. Because look. If I show you these cards are not swamps. These cards are sleight of hand. See? Look, they're all actually sleight of hand. They're all actually the card sleight of hand. I don't know if you could tell, but I used sleight of hand during that trick. And that, my friends, is black packet, red packet, black packet. All right. Okay. Let's do that. Let's I have these out. We can do a few more tricks with Magic the Gathering cards. Let's see here. Let's even mana cards are nice looking though. Yeah, I was actually thinking if I should just get very nice lands because they could just be prettier. I'm just using what lands I had on hand, so it wasn't like I could get full arts. I could be doing Magic with full art Magic lands. Okay, let's see here. Okay, let's do this next one. So we're going to be using 4 mountains and 4 sleight of hands. Now that the jig is up, I'll be using sleight of hand. And we're going to be simulating oil and water. Now, this doesn't quite work out so well because... Oh, wait. If I use the swamps, it will actually be oil and water, right? Hold on, we're going to swap these out. Okay, let's swap these out for 4 swamps. So now I have 4 swamps, which can represent oil, and then the blue sleight of hand, which will represent water. And this is a simulation. When we combine them, they won't mix. So first things first, let's intermix them. So here, got blue, black. Let's do it again. Blue, black, blue, black, blue, and black. Now let's close that up. Now if we take a look, so if you guys didn't know, oil and water do separate. So the typical color of water is blue. That's sunken down to the bottom because the oil floats up to the top. But that's not impressive until I show you that all of the oil or all of the black swamps have floated up to the top. And all of the sleight of hand has sunken down to the bottom. I know, that's weird. But, okay, let's do second phase. So that was first phase. Sick! I love it, says Orionson. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Alright, so once again, we're going to do oil and water again. But perhaps you thought that because I started with blue and that sunk down to the bottom, maybe that was not the most impressive thing to start with. And so let's go ahead and instead start with a swamp. So let's go ahead and start with swamp. Swamp. And then, so sleight of hand. Swamp. Then we have sleight of hand, swamp. We can speed this up a little bit. Sleight of hand, swamp, sleight of hand. And we can separate them like this. I don't know if you noticed, but look, they separated. I know, minor technicality that I separated them, but actually, if the simulation holds, these should be water and these should be oil because these floated up to the top. But I actually started with oil at the bottom first this time, right? So if we take a look at the topmost card, this is a swamp. This is, if we look at the bottom, that's a water. So that's blue, black at the top, blue at the bottom, black at the top, blue at the bottom, black at the top, blue at the bottom. And that, my friends, is oil and water. And we don't have to break away from this screen, actually, because I can just jump right into the next one. Do you believe that I can simulate this with the cards face up? Because, let me take one of the swamps, place it amongst the sleight of hands, place the sleight of hand amongst the swamps. And I'm going to close that up. E-Room, thank you kindly for the claps. So here we go. I'm going to close this up, and you'll see that the card that is in the wrong pile is there. But what you may not know is that magicians will sometimes snap with both hands. Some people will say that it is for effect, but sometimes it is not for effect. And so here, watch. I don't know if you saw, but my finger contacted the card that is the incorrect card and kicked it over to the correct pile. Because now if I show you, you'll see in this pile there's going to be 4 sleight of hand. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. Same thing over here. There will be 4 swamps. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you thought that was a fluke, let's go ahead and do that again. Okay, so here, there's 2 sleight of hand, 2 sleight of hands. Here's 2 swamps, 2 swamps. Let's place 2 swamps on 2 sleight of hands, 2 sleight of hands on 2 swamps. But all I have to do is snap both hands, and actually that will kick all the incorrect cards into the correct pile. Because now if I show you this pile, there are actually 4 swamps. See, swamp, 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 swamp. Then over here we have sleight of hand, sleight of hand, sleight of hand, sleight of hand. That's super weird, right? Super weird. Alright, so this last part's the only part that is going to be partially face down. So let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to go ahead and take this sleight of hand, place it amongst these swamps, this swamp amongst these sleight of hands. And here's the part that's face down. Boom, boom, boom. Once again, snap my fingers. that will kick the incorrect card into the correct pile, because now if I show you, here we have everything is correct. And that is Face Up Oil and Water. Is that weird? That's super weird, right? The one awesome thing that I like doing Magic with these kinds of cards is that you know that they're not going to be weird cards because they are printed Magic the Gathering cards. So, uh, let's see. Orion Sen says, I'm unable to respond because it keeps rolling up to a higher level, and I thought it was already the max. Thanks, Orion Send. Thank you, kind, for the claps. E-Room, Orion Send. Thank you for the request, Charlie, for Birds of a Feather. All right, let me see if I can do something with Birds of a Feather here. Let's see. Okay, I've got some more Magic cards. Let me see if I can finagle something with the Magic cards for this. If not, I may have to just use a regular deck. It kind of depends on what I have here. Let's see here. Okay. I think it's just going to cause me too much like mental anguish trying to figure out what cards I can use and what cards I can't, because it won't be impressive, basically. I think. All right, we're just going to go back to using regular cards for this one. I think it'll just be easier. Not that I couldn't do it. I could totally do it. All right, let's see here. Okay. Oh, an E-Room. I see the request for Impulse. All right, so that'll be lined up for after this one. Okay, let's see here. Hang on. Let me find some cards. I have to find some cards. Okay. I have found some cards. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Next up, we have a trick called Birds of a Feather, and I have set aside 4 cards that will help us. They are the 4 kings. Let me introduce you to them. We have the king of diamonds, the king of clubs, the king of hearts, and the king of spades. All right, so here's what we're going to do. If you were here, we will need, if you were here, you could cut the deck however you want, except that I would ask that for your first cut, you would cut about 3/4 of the deck off and place it here. So you could be off by a couple cards here or there. That would be okay. That's fine. You could actually make the cut. All right. I would either ask you or somebody else to cut about 2/3 of the cards and place them here. So let's say they were to do it here. It could be off by a few cards here or there. Doesn't matter too much. And then I would ask either a third person or you again to cut this packet in half and place that down here. So let's pretend that's about half. You could be off by a couple cards here or there. Not too big a deal. Okay, and basically what we're going to do is we're going to want to mark each one of these cards with one of these kings. And so let's go ahead and mark each position that was cut at with one of the kings. So, and then what we'll do is hopefully something interesting. And we'll place the last one here. Okay, so now with the power of our friend, the true magical talent of the stream, the deck sock. Guys, if you are familiar with the deck sock, please give the deck sock a warm welcome. As I always say, I'm not the magical talent of the stream. The deck sock is the magical talent of the stream. Look at that. Charlie's got all the deck sock emotes. Thanks, Charlie. And so here we go. We're going to go ahead and have the deck sock touch each of the piles and then touch this pile. There we go. And I don't know if you could tell, but the deck sock has actually made all of the kings go from each of their piles to this pile. I know, if it wasn't super clear, let's go ahead and check it out. And if you were here, I could have you turn over each card as well. So here we have the King of Diamonds, the King of Clubs, the King of Spades, and the King of Hearts. All four kings on this pile at the bottom here. Orion says, I am first meeting the deck sock. Oh, is this the first time you met the deck sock, Orion? Okay. So here we have to give Orion a very memorable moment with the deck sock. So deck sock, go ahead and do something else too. Oh, okay. Guys, if you didn't know, every single place that you cut statistically would never match, right? Would basically never be the same kind of thing. But because the deck sock just did its work, I think the deck sock has just gone back in time and made you cut wherever it would be something hopefully magical. And so if we take a look at all the places that were cut to, there is an Ace of Hearts, Ace of Diamonds, Ace of Clubs, and Ace of Spades. And that, my friends, is birds of a feather. Orion says, math nerd. Yeah, I am also a math nerd. I was literally watching a video the other day, again, on an infinite series, because I'm like, oh, I'd forgotten how to do it. Because realistically, I don't use infinite series in a typical day. But I was like, but I'm into theoretical physics and stuff. So I'm like, all right, I had to refresh myself on like integration. But then like I also watch like videos on YouTube, like, what's a Mersenne prime and things like that. So I am also certainly a math nerd. Although I don't talk about it as much as like other things. Because out of all the things that I'm passionate and I I love, math is one of the ones that doesn't get as much interest. So, but let's see. For pi, I know 3.14159265. So I know 8 digits of pi. So that's good. That's more than like what you would ever need for any practical purpose, unless you're doing like subatomic particle stuff. So, yo, wanna graph a tangent, then talk about the string when we we didn't? Oh, that's funny. Thank you kindly for the claps. Charlie's Beats, Orion Send, E-Room. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. All right, let's see here. I'm gonna have to get ready for the impulse card trick. Okay, this was a boss trick. I don't know if it's a boss trick now, but I don't think it is. However, let's let me get ready to do it here. Okay. Let me see. Let's grab all these. All right, let's hope I remember how to do this. So I told myself that I should, because this is one of the ones that I forget to do. But I told myself that I should map this out in my system, and I did not. So I am going to refer to my notes because I don't remember exactly what the correct setup is, but hopefully I won't have to mess up the trick that many times. So, all right. Boom. Let me see here. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. All right. Subatomic particles know when we're watching. That's probably one of the biggest mind blows that I had just delving into my nerd stuff. I mean, subatomic particles, if you're talking about like quantum behavior of particles and just the fact that, an observation being not necessarily like a human watching, but just like another potentially subatomic particle interaction that could be affected by it is a little crazy. Okay, cool. All right, so let's see here. We got boom, 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 boom. Okay. All right. I really hope I've got this, because otherwise this will have to be on the boss trick list again. Okay, all right. Okay, guys, I've got queens and twos. And so here I'm just going to have the queens flip over, and look, we've got the twos, and here's what we are going to do. We are going to here's two there. There's two of spades. Here's the two of clubs. Here's the two of diamonds, and the two of hearts. And I just realized I do have to start over because I just messed this up. Whoopsie. Okay. All right. Hang on tight. All right, let me just quickly refer to my notes one more time and do this here. Okay. And then let me see. The thing is, it's like if I mess up parts of this trick now, like it becomes not as impressive at the very end. So that's the problem with it. So okay, all right. And then boom, boom. Okay, all right. Yeah, I was gonna mess it up. Okay, cool. All right, let's go back to here. All right. Oh, and also let me clear the. I didn't clear the last trick. Okay. Yeah, I totally wrote that in layman's terms, not because it's tremendously complex to understand and explain. Yeah, it's when you're talking about stuff that's related to like theoretical physics, it's like so hard to describe it to someone who has like no context, and so you're trying to come up with analogies, but like there's no analogies for a lot of quantum stuff, right? Like so anyway, um all right, here we go. We have twos and queens, and what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and leave the queens over here, and then what we're going to do is introduce you to the twos. So here we have the two of spades, we've got the two of clubs, we've got the two of diamonds, and the two of hearts. And so we'll leave the queens over here, I think. I just hmm I think I do that, right? Nope, nope. Sorry guys. I really don't want to mess this up, but this is actually okay. Yeah, this is probably going to have to go on the boss trick list. This part is so hard to remember. Alstro Art, welcome in. The Megan Trainor Christmas album is all bangers. Also, Sia Christmas album is great. Awesome. Wait, Megan Trainor, that did come out in the last 20 years? And so by the way, welcome in Alstro Art. How's it going? I love how that is also tangential. Well done. Oh man. Okay. See, I remember parts of this not so well. That's the problem with me remembering this. All right. Okay, hold on. I do need to rehearse this because I'm at the point where I'm not. I'm obviously not doing it correctly. So, um, translation: enough nerds, says Orion said. Is Sleigh of Hand in the title intentional, Astro Art? Astro Art, I'm so glad you mentioned that because the answer is yes, it is intentional. I was wondering if somebody would catch that. Um, so, yeah. Okay, all right. I've got it. Astro Art, thank you for the badumts. Ay ay ay. That was a miracle somebody noticed. I'm like, nobody's gonna notice this. Everybody just takes it on face value that it's Sleight of Hand Sunday. Nope, it's Sleigh of Hand Sunday today, guys. And you know what? I can't have a Sleigh of Hand Sunday without slaying this trick. So therefore, I've got to nail it. Okay, here we go. All right, twos and queens. All right, I'm not gonna worry about retheming it as something else because if I do, I will totally not be able to do the trick. Okay, so we've got the twos and the queens. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. Here we've got two of spades, and then we've got the two of clubs, the two of diamonds, and the two of hearts. Okay, and we'll leave the queens over here. We'll hang on to the twos. And here's what I want to do with the twos. I'm just going to go ahead and snap, and that will turn one of the twos face down. So here we go. There we go. One of the twos has turned face down. Let me go ahead and snap, and that should make another of the twos turn face down as well. There we go. And then, of course, I should snap one more time, and that should make another one of the twos turn face. Whoa. I almost dropped those cards there. Turn face down. So here we go. And then now the last one, we should have all of the twos turn face down now. Orion Sen says, my brain read it as two different meanings of sleigh, then remembered the date. Yes. Yep. Intentional. Okay. All right. So here's the other interesting thing. We thought that all the twos were turning upside down. No, they're actually turning in to the queens. Actually, if I go ahead and I show you now, actually these are not twos anymore. These are the queens. Actually, all of these are now the queens. Yeah, is that weird? That's super weird, right? Is that interesting? That's so interesting. Um, but anyway, so I'm not sure if you guys know, but here, let me do something interesting. So let me go ahead and if I the thing is these should either be all of the twos or all of the queens, right? And so but you would not expect them to be interwoven, right? And so look, if I just go ahead and I place these on top, would you believe that now you would expect them to be separated, but they're actually not. See, look, they're all interwoven. And hold on, did I get this right? No. Okay, so here's the interesting thing as well. If we have all of our twos here, all of our queens here, you would expect that they were all the same colors, right? And maybe you thought they were all red backed, but if you take a look at the twos, they're actually all blue backed. And that, my friends, is a very scuffed up version of the impulse card trick. Not entirely happy with how it went, but considering I messed it up a bunch and then I didn't, uh, still need to study up on this one. It's somehow not ingrained in me yet because it had to be a boss trick again. So, thank you kindly for the claps, E-Room, Orion Send, and thank you kindly for that request, E-Room, and keeping me honest and giving me some homework. So, I will have to do some homework to try and get that one down pat because it clearly isn't. So let me just make note of that. No wonder that took you a bit to set up. It's very, very good and complex. Yeah, so I didn't get the ending perfect, but if you watch my recording of it on YouTube, actually, let me just copy and paste it here. The ending is each one of the queens should be paired up with the two with its exact suit pair. So like you can literally split them up right next to each other, and that's actually what the ending is supposed to be. But shh, you didn't know that. Anyway, so there's the actual impulse card trick video, and I themed it as though a bunch of ladies are doing a bunch of different hobbies. So, but otherwise, like technically and mechanically, like it's I know how to do all of this stuff. I just don't remember what order to do all this stuff in. like, and so yeah, that's basically it. Let's see here. So that was the impulse card trick as best as I could do without messing up too much. Okay, there we go. All right, cool. All right. And yeah, the reason why I couldn't use the Twitch deck, obviously, because the ending with the different colored backs makes it kind of in that situation. All right, let's see here. There was a trick that I wanted to do because I haven't done it for a couple months. Let me see here. Play it straight, and it is play it straight. And usually, what I do for this trick. So I have a deck of cards here, and it is called the DMC Alphas. And so they are mostly, if you take a look at the cards, they're not numbers. They are basically letters. So it's not a regular deck of cards. So there's mostly two of each letter because it's like 26, right? So there's 52. So it's almost two of each letter, but there's some letters that are only one of, like Z, Q, J. Um, there's like three like E's and I think either S or T or something like that. So nice box. Oh yeah, yeah. So yeah. So it's a very simplistically designed box, but it's actually a very nice quality and the material it has like a texture to it, so it's not even like a flat like paper. It's actually made of some nice. Anyway, so let's see. What we're going to need to do for this is we're going to need a card selected. So let's just go ahead and if I just go through the cards, actually let's have chat select one of these. Hold on. Let's go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. All right, maybe one of those 12 cards. So okay, looks like chat has selected. Oh, looks like chat has selected this one. I'm guessing. Okay, we'll have that one be the selection. And next up, we're going to need to cut the deck into about 4 equal piles. They don't have to be perfect. So like here, and here, and here, and here. Okay, cool. Now we're going to do the unthinkable. We're going to turn these 2 piles face up. And let's shuffle face up into face down cards. I know, this is monstrous. But if you take a look, I really am going to be shuffling in face up into face down. Oh, if you see yes and no, they're the 2 jokers, so that's normal. Okay, we'll do that again, and one final time. Okay, there we go. That's cool. I'm such a nerd. Oh no, that's good. I am also such a nerd, Orion Send. All right, cool. So okay, now that we've done all that shuffle shenanigans, we're gonna find your. Oh, hold on. First of all, this is your card. It's still here. Also, I never showed it to you, did I? Okay, so, all right, guys. When I mess up a trick, I have to bring out the true talent of this stream, the true magical talent of the stream, and that is our friend, the Deck Sock. Hello, Deck Sock. How's it going? Hey, is there a way that I can salvage this and make it look impressive for everybody on stream? You said yes? Okay, how can I do that? Alright. First, you have to distract them. Okay. Guys, I'm told that I have to distract you by showing you this very wonderful ornament. Okay, so here we go. This wonderful ornament, it says, Merry Christmas, and it's a truck with a snowflake and trees in the back. It's a red truck. Okay, so all right, Dexock. I've shown them the ornament. Now what? Now spread the deck. Oh, okay. All right. Actually, would it be cool if you guys could tell me what card that is? I think that'd be pretty cool, right? So here we go. Ready? Oh, look. If we actually take a look, there are. Oh, maybe it might be better if I spread like this. There are some cards that are face up, but not as many as I thought. Hold on, let's start taking them out. So this one says C. This one says R. This one says I. Cry. Chris. All right, let's keep on going. Christ. Krista. Who's Krista? I don't know who Krista is. Krista. All right, let me move this over. Kristams. Christopher says Ricky Charms. Krista, welcome in, Ricky Charms. And then, oh, there's still some more letters. D A Y. Okay, well, I don't know if this trick is going to turn out as amazing. So wait, so here's the card that was selected. I think. Can you guys guess what letter this is? Christam's Day. I don't know what Christam's Day is. I mean, if there was supposed to be a gap here, very Christam's Day crazy. H. Okay, E-Room's guessing H. All right, so now let's take a look. E-Room, are you correct? This is indeed the letter H. Okay, well, the trick almost worked. But there it is. Christam's Day. All right, Dexock. I thought you were gonna not wait. Oh, hold on. The trick's not over. Oh. Hey guys. Really? Okay. So the deck sock is now telling me to hold up the ornament. Yeah. What about the ornament? Read the ornament. Oh, yeah. It just says Merry Christmas. Wait a second. The ornament says Merry Christmas. Oh, okay. Christmas Day makes perfect sense now. Merry Christmas on Christmas Day. All right, there we go. Oh man. Okay. All right, Dexock, you're brilliant. Thank you for being here. I should have never doubted you. uh, Ricky Charms, thank you for the well played and the mind blown, and thank you kindly for the lol room. Yes, so Merry Christmas Day, everybody. Not today, but in a couple days. So, Ham's Day, my favorite, says Orion Send. Ricky Charms, Merry Christmas Day, crazy. Yeah. E-Room says, what thrift store did you find the ornament at? Lol. All right. So, I mean, look, this was spelled correctly in the past when I initially bought the tree, I swear. Either that or my wife and I didn't see it for many years. I have no idea where this potentially came from. I feel like it was a Christmas tree shop thing, but I don't know if they would sell anything quite like this. However, we bought a little tree and it had a bunch of ornaments on it. We never read this for like, we owned the little tree for like 6 years. And then one day, I was just like looking at the tree and I took like a picture of the tree because I'm like, oh, it's kind of picturesque because we put it up against the window and there was like snow outside. And I'm like, wait a second. And I looked at this ornament and I'm like, what? What? It does it really say Merry Christmas? There's a typo and it got produced and it was sent out and I'm just like, what? So, yeah, I have no idea. Unfortunately, the thing on the back, which is a little tag, it's mostly ripped. I can't even tell where it was made in because the made in is the first line and I can make out made and I. That's not going to focus. All right, hold on. Ricky Charm says, I think I saw those at Walmart or Target. Yeah. Yeah, see, made in and then distributed by Nan, and then date is I have no idea. Compliant for formald. Does that say formaldehyde, or is it going to say formaldehyde? What? Please don't be Indiana, lol. Hold on, let me. It totally looks like it says compliant for formaldehyde. I mean, it could be like a longer word, but I mean, that's so weird. It looks and feels like a wooden thing. Wooden thing. Adam, thank you so much for the 300 bits. Merry Christmas to you. Adam, thank you so much for that. Anyway, yeah, this is just one of those things, and I was like, I cannot believe. And my wife was thinking about getting rid of it. And I was like, are you crazy? Like, because this was like the second year I was doing magic. And I was like, I need to take this so I can use it for magic. So I harbored it for like 6 months before I used it for the first time. Actually, no, was it 6 months or was it a whole year? Because no, I saw it when we were putting it away. So it might have been like 10 months or something. And then I did a trick like that following November or whatever. But anyway, thank you so much for the bits, Adam. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. That was funny. For the I love doing a trick with this ornament and I'm like, "Oh, it's the perfect time for it." So, but there you go. Merry Christmas. I also like to think that you know how we don't really celebrate Christmas, but we celebrate the commercialization of Christmas, like the whole like buying gifts for everybody kind of thing. That's the commercialization of Christmas. I feel like that is the essence of what Christmas is. So I celebrate Merry Christmas. Christmas is the whole hey, spend time with family in the religious setting kind of thing. I mean, and I spend time with my family, and I do that aspect, but none of us are religious in any way. So um, see, Orion Sen says, E-Room, one year we did door hangers in school, and I wrote Merry Christmas Grandma, and she hung it on the fridge. No one told me. It's awesome. Um, Orion Sen says, 8 years and no one told me. I came back to visit as a teenager, and I saw it. E-Room says, nice. I'm sure she loved it. Yeah, ultimately, I'm sure Grandma's don't really care if it's correct or not. They just probably chalk it up to being like, oh, my grandkid doesn't know how to spell right or something. That's probably that's probably it. They love it. They love you. That's. But actually, that's a funny thing because I recently, so I was actually having this conversation in Gibson Lens's stream. Not, it was like a couple months ago, maybe. But Orion senses I felt simultaneously loved and betrayed. That's my sympathies. But anyway, so we were having this conversation. So Gibson Lens was streaming piano, but in chat we were talking about um, the Mandela effect. And so we were talking about this for like an hour in chat and like all the different kinds of Mandela effects. But for anybody who's unfamiliar with what the Mandela effect is, it's the phenomenon where a large number of people remember something different that happened, in the past for something. So the reason why it's called the Mandela effect is that there's a bunch of people that remember Nelson Mandela dying in prison, but in the reality in which we currently live, he lived and he got out of jail and proceeded to be a great politician. And so that is the origin of the name of that effect. But since they found a bunch of other ones, now I am of the belief that a bunch of things where people misremember, like quotes from movies, or like some small things like how a product was potentially spelled. Most of the time, I think that chalks up to bad human memory. But there's one that I very strongly remember, and the reason why I believe that the Mandela effect is real, and this ties back into your memory of like, Merry Christmas Grandpa and this whole Merry Christmas thing, is that I believe in the Mandela effect because I am affected by the one where Berenstain Bears. So if you remember the Berenstain Bears book series as a kid, uh, I remembered it spelled differently. So um, Orion says she knew I could spell exceptionally well because we played Cutthroat Scrabble and I was matching points with the adults at age 4. Okay, well, if you're spelling big words at age 4, yo, props to you, kid. That is well done. Um, but yeah, so here, let me just so Berenstain Bears is actually spelled like this. Berenstain Bears. So if you go look up the Berenstain Bears books, that's how it's Berenstain Bears is spelled. Ricky Charms remembers like the Fruit of the Loom logo and Luke I am your father. Yeah. So the Luke I am your father thing, I chalk up to either bad human memory or people want to give context because in the movie he says no because he's responding to like the previous line, I am your father. And so yeah, the alternate spelling that I've seen is actually uh, so I thought it was Berenstein Bears, but actually, yeah, the other primary spelling, and I am willing to chalk it up to bad memory at this point that it could have actually just been Bernstein Bears. Uh, and because I was just thinking that the second part was the part that I had gotten wrong. Now, the reason why I remember this is because I remember second or third grade, there was this girl that corrected me. I thought it was spelled Berenstain Bears the correct way, and she showed me a book, and it was spelled the second half Stein, right? So yeah, and so Orion is familiar with that spelling for this Mandela effect or whatever. And so I corrected myself to the incorrect spelling. Years later, I'm like, wait, that is exactly how it's spelled. But I had this memory in my mind that I'm like, no. So we were having this discussion in Gibson Lens's stream, and the reason why I bring this up now is because, well, first of all, it's kind of tangentially related. But I actually messaged her on Facebook because I happen to be friends with her on Facebook. And this is like elementary school kid, and we basically never talk. Like we've talked randomly on Facebook like a few times over the years. And but I was like, let me just ask her and just do you remember Berenstain Bears being spelled differently? I actually did it during Gibson Lens's stream. And she didn't get back to me that day, but like the next day we were chatting like, yeah, I actually remember it was spelled the other way too. And I'm like, I'm not crazy. It's like she didn't remember the exact memory that I had, but she said, "Oh yeah, that sounds like it would be right because I remember that too." And I'm like, "Oh my God, this is like the first potential confirmation that I'm like, this is like a legit thing." So anyway, she and I kind of have been talking about random stuff for the past like month or so, and she sends me a picture of this literally today, and apparently. Let me pull up the picture from Facebook Messenger. Um, so she finds a picture that was posted in Matrix Mysteries, which does talk about uh, the the effect. And you know, it could have been made like photoshopped, but I'm like, well, what reason would they have to do this? So this is in a Facebook group. So if I show you this, Berenstain Bears, the title is spelled Berenstain Bears correctly. But if you take a look at the bottom, it actually says 13-inch Bernstein Mother Bear. And then the next picture is the back of the tag. The back of the tag actually also references Bernstein. And I'm like, this would be the perfect explanation for why this was a thing. That's not focusing. But anyway, so, but yeah, and I'm like, okay, so this is potentially a reason, but why didn't it come up in the internet searches that could have been the reason? Like, manufacturer spelled the name wrong, and now people think blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that would be a perfectly normal reason. But when I saw the proof, it was actually on a book, on the Bernstein book. Anyway, Orion Sen says, "Hello, Clarice," in Silence of the Lambs. It was so predominant they inserted the line in the film Hannibal. Yeah. eRoom says, "I love it when peeps, Twitch streamers at Facebook IRL tell me, I finally figured out your real name. I've had friends that I've known for years tell me that. Currently, a few streamers call me Kim, not knowing any better. I go along with it. I probably have 10 different monikers that people call me." All right, guys, if you didn't know, Mike, so eRoom is Mike. And yeah, so there we go. I won't give you any other hints, but you could probably figure out eRoom's full name if given that hint. So there's actually somebody else that I knew in a different stream. That streamer doesn't stream anymore, but as a regular in that stream, there was somebody named Tacy Mivol or something, and everybody's like, "Oh, hi Tacy," and but if you actually read the name backwards, it was "Love My Cat," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." So Orion Sen says, "eRoom, that spooked me briefly. Don't dox me, bro." Yeah, yeah, guys, don't dox eRoom. But I mean, if you go to eRoom's page, you'll know his name is Mike because I think he says his name is Mike. But anyway, all right. Sorry, I know that there's a trick in the queue, but I felt like we needed to go on that tangent right then and there. So sorry, guys. Anyway, hopefully that was interesting, and it was funny reconnecting with somebody from elementary school to talk about. I almost thought that she was gonna think that, man, he's crazy. I need to unfriend him, and then, but no, she's like, no, this is exactly what I remember too. And now we're just talking about the Mandela effect. So, Checking the Gaff Meter says, "Hi now, hi friends. Hi, Checking the Gaff Meter. Welcome in. How's it going? Hopefully you're doing well." No, for a minute there, I thought that I was saying that he figured out my real. Oh, I see. Okay, I don't know if you, unless Orion send your name backward. Your name is actually your username backwards. In which case, I don't think that's it. Checking the Gaff Meter says, "Great, thanks, awesome." You know, I'm going to be attempting to do this trick, and this trick I think requires a prediction. Um, and since Checking the Gaff Meter has just walked in, we can probably just make a prediction like this. Okay, so here's the prediction. Now we're going to need a selection. So, if anybody who is on desktop would like to click directly on the screen, you should be able to get a card. Wow, that was right there, right on the prominent one. So, okay. So here's my prediction. Here's the card that was selected. I'll place that slowly and fairly as possible right there. So you still see. Now, in order for you to understand the perfect pair in this situation is that um, let me just grab a random card and hopefully they don't match either the prediction or that card. But in order to find the perfect pair, let's pretend it was the seven of spades. The perfect pair of the seven of spades would be the other card that is a seven that matches the color and of the other suit. So the perfect pair of the seven of spades would be seven of clubs. So what are the odds that we have a perfect pair right here in my hand right now? So here's the interesting thing. First, let me just show you the card that I predicted. So the card that I predicted is actually checking the gaff meters for of spades, which is why I was mentioning checking the gaff meter at that moment. What are the odds that this is the perfect pair to check the gaff meter? Hello, thanks for the hello. Not good odds at all, says checking the gaff meter. Well, I know, but because this is a magic stream, and look, the heat map is still pointing at it, and so here you'll be able to see that in order for this to work, this should be the four of clubs. And there, checking the gaff meter, is your perfect pair. Hey! Thank you kindly for the surprise and for the hello. Now, I'm not like prescribing anything, and I don't know if you have found your perfect pair, but look, it's not signed yet, so could be anybody. Thank you kindly for the claps. Checking the gaff meter, Charlie's beats. Um, I have not, so that's accurate. Ah, okay. Well, once somebody wants to sign the four of clubs, here's the way that you can get it signed, if you would like. Four of clubs is still open. I mean, there's a bunch of other cards also still open, but anyway. I don't know why I didn't make today's discussion about the Mandela effect. Oh yeah, we didn't talk about Christmas music. So the whole reason why I thought of this question was because I'm like, what are the what are like new Christmas songs that make it into somebody's rotation? Because like for the longest time, new Christmas music didn't make it in, and that's why some of our favorite music from for Christmas time is like still old timey music or remakes of those original old songs. And I'm like, huh, I wonder why that is. And so I'm not going to say that I'm an authority on the topic, but the YouTube video that I watched claimed that it was because um, Christmas time didn't used to be a time in which you tried to market something to people, and then like the World Wars occurred, and then so whatever songs that just happened to have already been written around Christmas for Christmas time, they just like radio stations would just persist the same playlist because they were like, all right, we have these playlists. There aren't any new songs. Nobody's going to be out and about looking for new music. So, and that's just kind of what happened. That is the claim that this YouTube video that I watched did. But then I was wondering, like, okay, well, what are the newest songs that I remember that made it onto like regular playlists? And it's like I hear Mariah Carey's Christmas song literally every year, and that came out in the '90s. And I'm like, the '90s is like it's like 25 years ago. So I'm like, so wait, what are the new good Christmas songs that came out in the last 20 years? And it's like, even if they were good, even if you listen to them all the time, how come like it doesn't make it onto like playlists where everybody plays them, right? So it's like it seems like so hard to break in. E-Room says I carry a 9. Oh, Grandpa was like that. I've had IT person extremely concerning that he's used many avenues to freak me out. Ah, interesting, says checking the gaff meter. Meow, says Kuyasai. Welcome in, Kuyasai. How's it going? How's your weekend? Hopefully you've been doing well. Checking the gaff meter says that was the last one for a really long time. yeah, like I don't know if it was Mariah Carey's song or like I'll still hear like In Sync's Happy Holidays. That plays pretty much every year too. But like those are like the last two that I remember. Orion Sen says, I'm literally in the middle of a video about how Carol of the Bells became a Christmas song. Yo, Orion Sen! I literally listened to that video earlier today. I was served up that same video. Yeah. So originally, so here's what I was listening to. This video was describing how Carols of the Bells wasn't originally written as a Christmas song, but was written uh, as like a Ukrainian freedom song, and so that's like basically where it came from. Um, anyway, cut a bunch of history out, and then it's like here now it's in the United States for a Christmas song, but like there's a bunch more to that. So Kuyasai says just playing games. I need to be cleaning though. Oh, I mean Kuyasai, I don't tell you how to live your life, but you literally just confessed you should be cleaning. You should be cleaning. Anyway. Chetting the Gaff Meter says, I might recognize the NSYNC one, but I don't recognize it by the title. Oh. Yeah, the NSYNC one goes like, Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. So basically it goes like that, I think. If I was karaokeing, I could probably sing more of it for you. I don't remember all of the lyrics, but like I had the album, so I should be. Oh yeah. Okay, all right. Checking the out. You just got it. All right, cool. It wasn't terrible enough that you got it. All right. Orion Sen says it's weird to me to think that the Mariah Carey song came out in the '90s because I swear I did not hear it until the past like 15 years, and it was everywhere, and you couldn't get away from it. Yeah, the thing is, it's like I don't know if it became a hit immediately, but I definitely know within a few years after release that that Mariah Carey song like went crazy. And so by the end of the 90s, I was basically hearing it like every year. And like the thing was I liked Mariah Carey up until a certain point. I mean, I liked her music, let's say that. I liked some of her music up until a certain point. And then after that, I didn't really like any of her music, and then she kind of went off the deep end. But um eRoom has requested a scandalous shuffle. Oh, and also the queue is empty, so if anybody would like to request anything. Oh, did the pin? Hold on. Trick list. Sorry, normally the trick list is pinned. Okay. I pinned it twice earlier, and then we had the technical difficulties, and then maybe when I ended the stream, got back in. Yeah, so it was weird. Gibson Lens, welcome in. Watching Christmas movies. Gibson Lens. I'm so happy to hear that you're watching movies. Anyway, welcome in. Hopefully you're doing well. Um, let's see. E-Room is says my scandalous shuffle for a few till I build up more points. Can he do it? Any two decks, your choice. Now shuffle them together. Wearing gloves on your hands, any kind. Bonus points for wearing mittens. I don't have gloves and mittens down here. I do have them. They are upstairs. Like, okay, hold on. I can. Oh wait. That. Oh no. There's only one. There's only one glove. Well, one glove on one side. Hold on. Okay, this is within arm's reach, or like I could just slide over and grab it, but it is not. Okay. Oh my God. Oh no, I should not have pulled this out. Okay, eat room. I'm afraid I'm going to have to attempt, and I'll have to take your points today. All right. So we'll do it. We'll do it. All right, eat room. Okay. So the request was for a scandalous shuffle with two decks. Okay, so here's what I was. So I don't normally have gloves and stuff down here, but I actually cleaned up recently, and I was like, wait, I have kind of half a glove. So here's what I was going to do. I have effectively one glove over here, and so it is this. But I almost feel like because I would have full control of my fingers still, um, I don't know if this would count, right? And I have two of them, but let's see. So E-Room, would this count as gloves, or are these not gloves for the purposes of your redeem? That is the question. So that's the first question. What do you think, E-Room? This is your redeem. I'll let you know that I think I could pretty much do most sleights with this normally. So that's the first thing. Very super powered. Yes. So for full disclosure, this actually says Deca Sports 2, which I believe was a game that came out for what, the Wii, and I got these. These are promotional items for Wii games, I believe. So, um, and then but good answer though, lol. Okay. So, anyway, I could shuffle card here. I'll just show you how shuffling with these would work with just one deck. Okay. Very easy. I could handle it. No problem. All right. So these would not count. It seems like the general consensus. Okay. Excellent. All right. However, unfortunately, there is another pair of gloves in this box that I forgot was here. So, uh, I used to be into boxing a little bit. I didn't really spar with people, but there was I had a boxing, I had a punching bag in my basement for a while. Not this basement. It was like a couple of places when I used to live ago. But so the other gloves are these. So they're not like actual boxing gloves, but they're basically like mitts um, for like practice sparring, basically. I actually haven't worn these in a while. It's been a long time. Okay, I mean, it kind of gives me like Super Saiyan magical girl energy, maybe. Walking dog. Oh my, says E-Room. Lamo! Lurk. Checking the gap meter has vanished themselves. All right. So I think checking the gap meter is stepping away mostly because checking the gap meter doesn't like scandalous shuffles, and certainly not with these gloves. All right. Well, E-Room. Okay. So here's what I'm willing to attempt to do. Let me attempt to shuffle. Let me see. Two decks, my choice. Now shuffle them together. All right, we're going to try and attempt. Oh my god, I can't even grab this deck. All right, the Twitch deck. I can't even hold these. And this will be amazing, says Eroom. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and I don't even know how. So originally the redeem was literally just choose two decks and then I shuffle them together. I don't know how it's become this, but you can thank Eroom because Eroom basically comes up with all the creative things. Let's attempt to do these with the clear plastic cards. I will now punch the top card to the top of the deck. Oh yeah, it'll look more impressive. Ugh, up here. All right. So let me attempt to open this with the gloves. This is not easy. I have literally no finger tactile. Like my thumb is the most useful finger right now. Okay, all right. So, okay, here we go. We're going to attempt to shuffle. Okay, I can at least get a good grip on it, I think, from the side, from the edge. And then here's the clear cards. All right. Okay. So let's attempt. I will. I cannot, Eram. I cannot believe I'm doing this. I cannot believe I even allowed myself to see these gloves, and I cannot believe the sheer luck that they are literally over here. They were hiding in on the wall over there, which is like maybe 15 feet away, and I would not have given them a second thought. And yet, so lucky. This is how my hands are all the time, hence bad typing. Oh, my sympathies. Okay, alright, here we go. Let's see if I can even position. Okay, alright, we're gonna attempt to riffle. Okay, am I damaging cards? Alright. Okay, we're gonna use the table. Ay, ay, ay. Eroom just wants to make me suffer with these. Okay, alright. Hold on. I'm having trouble just straightening the pile. Okay, here we go. Oh my god, it's working! Okay, that was not so amazing, but let's get it in. Can I get the push through? Wait. Okay. Alright. Okay, all right. I think I passed the most difficult part. All right, guys, and here is a scandalous shuffle. The Twitch deck and clear plastic cards using gloves. Someone clip this. I don't know how to do it, says Eroom. Thank you kindly for the applause, Eroom, and thank you kindly for the claps, Eroom. And Orion says, me trying to utensil everyone in case you were curious. Keyboard in German now. Oh my. All right, so, all right, I guess we'll call that a success. For a second, I was thinking, man, I might have to give Eroom his points back. Nope, I got those points from you today, Eroom. Yes, that was amazing. Shuffle for the ages. Yeah, full disclosure, that would have been way simpler without the gloves, but yeah, that was okay, I'll admit, that was pretty epic. I cannot say that I've ever done that on stream before. That's certainly a new experience. Uh, oh man, these are even tough to like get apart now. All right. Currently, the trick queue is empty. If anybody would like to request anything, feel free while I unshuffle. I may have to move these gloves so that they're not within arm's length of me streaming. I don't want you to get any more ideas, Eru. What even possessed you to say, "Hey, can you do it wearing gloves?" Like, what? Are you? You just want to see me suffer, or are you testing me? As I don't, I don't know. All right, cool. Anyway, I'm glad you at least let me choose two decks of my choice. That. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, I think they're separate now. Alright, just so that I can see how easy it would have been. Yeah, okay, it would have been fine. It would have been easy with just my regular. Okay, gloves makes it really difficult. Impressive, Orions, and I sincerely miss just shuffling cards. It used to be my fidget relaxation habit. Yeah, so when I learned a bunch of Magic, you end up learning like a bunch of things. Like there's a shuffle. This shuffle is like my fidget shuffle right here. It's basically you're pushing. Oh, this deck's a little bit worn. I can't even show it as well. Here, let me just use this regular bicycle deck. So like this shuffle right here. So I'm basically inserting cards. It's almost one to one. It's not quite, but if you can get it exactly one to one, that is a specific mathematical shuffle called a Pharaoh shuffle. So, all right, there. I think this one is one to one, basically. Yep, I got it perfect that time. Um, and when I see young kids and like I can't show them a magic trick, I basically show them the shuffle because they're like, "Oh, I've never seen cards move like that," or they've never seen cards before. So I will bridge it one way or the other. But yeah, this is my fidget thing. It's tough to get it exactly like in half. That's still a challenge. I'll sometimes get like one too many cards one way or the other. But otherwise, there we go. Orion 10 says, when I learned how to bridge, I felt like a boss. Oh yeah, like so. First, there's the regular riffle. Actually, you guys just want to see a bunch of shuffles. So here's the regular riffle. People will riffle like this, and then if they can't bridge, you basically just push them together. The good news is that this will mostly keep the cards flat, so long as they don't bend too much on the riffle. Then there's the riffle bridge. So here's the riffle, here's the bridge. So this doesn't matter as much if you bend them more, because on the bridge, so here's you're bending it like concave, and then here you convex. Oh no, sorry. The first way is convex, and then that one's concave. I guess it depends on if you're looking at the card face up or face down. Anyway, um, and then there's when you get into doing magic, there is so the Pharaoh shuffle, which is the one I just showed you, where you basically interlace them exactly one to one. There's an interesting thing with the Pharaoh shuffle where if you can do 8 exact Pharaoh shuffles with a 52 card deck, it basically completely undoes the shuffle. So if you can shuffle exactly one to one, too many times in a row, it basically undoes the shuffle. So that's a cool mathematical thing. That cannot happen with this deck because it is 54 cards. There's 2 jokers in here, so there's 1, there's 2. So it will be slightly off, and I don't think exactly 8 would do it. But let's see what else. There's the tabled riffle. So you basically split the deck, and instead of doing the riffle in the hands like this, you could basically do a riffle like this, and you'll see casinos do this, mostly because when you pick up the packets, you could glance at the bottom card, and cheaters could use that to cheat, or gamblers and so on. So what they teach you at casinos is you have to shuffle all of the cards on the table like this, push them together, and so there's no way people could glance at the bottom card on either pile. Also, when you cut, you don't cut like this, picking up the packet and you can see the bottom. Always cut very clean, keeping things close to the table so that nobody could catch a glance at anything. And so this is a tabled riffle. Let's see. There's the overhand shuffle. So this is when you ask somebody who doesn't really handle cards, and they think of shuffling a deck of cards, and they can't, they don't have the dexterity or practice to do anything else. They'll do an overhand shuffle, and so it's basically just taking chunks of cards and shuffling like this. You guys don't see me do this that often because I almost feel like it's very easy to I don't either make myself look foolish, but also you could easily backtrack thing. So if you see how something, so for example, let's just find a card, 2 of hearts, right? So 2 of hearts, let's pretend I wanted to control, actually let's put that face down. Let's say I wanted to control the 2 of hearts, right? And so look, I can control the 2 of hearts to wherever I want using this overhand shuffle. So if I wanted it on the bottom, it's now on the bottom. And once again, if I wanted the 2 of hearts somewhere where I knew what it was, we could just overhand shuffle, not have the 10 of hearts fly over there. And it's not even a clean, perfect thing for me, but I've now controlled the 2 of hearts to the top. So let's see. Orion Sen said, if I had even known a Pharaoh shuffle existed, that certainly would have been goals. I would have practically started riots because I insisted on a minimum of 7 shuffles start every game. They didn't care about stats, quoting that I did. That's funny. Yeah, Pharaoh is actually spelled F-A-R-O. It's actually named after I forgot if it's a person or a technique. But yeah, it's not Pharaoh like Egyptian Pharaoh. It's just Pharaoh, F-A-R-O. Eroom says, are you familiar with the curly shuffle? I don't know if I'm familiar with the curly shuffle. Is that the one where they break it up into 2 piles and then you basically do this, Eroom, and then you push the piles together? Is that basically the curly shuffle? Anyway, that was another way that people will shuffle cards. Sometimes it looks very crazy, but there are actually ways in which this is not as random as you think, which is surprising because it looks pretty random. So let's see what else. There is something called the Hindu shuffle. So let's say I wanted to perform a Hindu shuffle. That would be pulling off cards from the top until somebody said stop, and I'd make you stop on a card, and that card is the 5 of diamonds. And let's see here. So once again, we Hindu shuffle again. Spectator can say stop whenever. Let's say here, make them stop on the 5 of diamonds. There it is. Okay, let's see. Orion Sen says, I can imagine how that fan could be stacked. Yes. All right, so that's, you mean this thing? Yeah. Yeah, this thing is sometimes used inside tricks for misleadingness. So this is actually, that's actually a technique. This is actually a shuffle. Oh, there's actually another shuffle called the slop shuffle. Actually, let me demonstrate that. So we would need a card selected. Let's pretend we were using the 5 of diamonds, right? So let's use the 5 of diamonds. Okay, so let's use the 5 of diamonds, and the 5 of diamonds is going to go into the middle of the deck. And then what we're going to do is we end up putting some cards. Let me see here. How do we do that? Oh yeah, some cards I'm going to leave face down, and then I'm going to turn some cards face up, turn some cards face down, some cards face up, some cards face down. And so as I turn my hand, some of the cards are going into each other face up, some of them turning into face down. And then finally, we just have like a situation like this. So if I show you the packet, we've got some cards that are face up, some cards that are face down, like this. But the nature of this trick is that, let's see, if we go ahead and I show you that we have a back to a front, and then we have like a front to a back. Then we even have let me see, let me find an example of this. We have a back to a back, yeah. And so that is like the shuffle. But then usually you only use this shuffle for like this trick. There's some other applications too, but like now I can snap my fingers or bring out the deck sock, and the deck sock would fix everything. So now everything's fixed, except for one card, and that one card is going to be our selection, which in this case is the 5 of diamonds. So everything's now facing the same direction, except for 5 of diamonds. Eroom says, no, the Curly Shuffle is a very popular fad song in the mid 80s. It was stupid AF, but swept the nation for a bit, lol. Okay. I don't know if I know Curly Shuffle for cards. Let me see. Curly Shuffle cards. Although now when I think of like, let me see. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything that is referred to even as the Curly Shuffle, or at least if there is, I'm unaware of it. Some kind of a comedy manipulation routine. Oh, there's a Three Stooges shuffle. Hold on. Let me just quickly take a glance at this shuffle. Wow, this clip is old. Okay, alright. Here's the Three Stooges Curly Shuffle. I assume it's called the Curly Shuffle because Curly is the one doing the shuffle. Alright, I'm already intrigued. Alright, guys, so this is the Three Stooges Curly Shuffle, alright? So he cuts the deck and then does this. And then just places them back. That's the Curly Shuffle. Alright, hold on. Let me do the Curly Shuffle. Alright. And if need be, you could do it twice. See? 1, 2. Alright, there you go. That's the Curly Shuffle. I literally just watched a 30-second clip. Well, I didn't watch the whole thing. I just fast forwarded until the shuffle. I'm like, what? No way. So if that's what you mean by Curly Shuffle, E-Room, I just did it. There you go. Curly Shuffle. Lamau says Orion. And thank you, Kylie, for the claps, E-Room. Yep. I'm going to have to add that one to my repertoire. All right, guys, if you didn't know, Three Stooges, wonderful comedians, and they were also magicians. Look at this magical shuffle. See, look. I don't know if you noticed, but they actually shuffled into each other. Here, let me demonstrate it one more time. Look. They've shuffled again. And even though it looks like I didn't do anything and put them back, they actually shuffled themselves. Same brain. You need to put that into your repertoire as like the ultimate dad joke. Yo, I didn't realize that's what it was. I'm already thinking about ideas for it right now. Ay, ay, ay. So, yeah. All right. What is one situation under which I could... Oh, okay, hold on. Let me find the 5 of diamonds again, just because that's a good example, because we've been running with that. Okay, all right. So what I could do is, hold on. So if I cut them into 2 packets and then see, I'm trying to think of a way in which I could show the two halves all face down, and then I do the shuffle, like the curly shuffle, and then put them back together. But I want them to actually be jumbled and shuffled in a wrong way. Like I could then do this and just be like, hey, look, everything's messed up now. You didn't realize I was doing the curly shuffle? Like that'd be really good. I don't know. I can't come up with a way to achieve that right now, but that's like a good idea. That's a good idea. All right. I know I haven't done a bunch of magic recently, but we just talked about a bunch of different shuffles. So we talked about Sleigh of Hand. Let's see. I think I probably want to end stream in about a half an hour. I know I started late because I had technical difficulties, but let's see here. I always want to do this one. Oh no. I guess I could do that one too. I haven't practiced that one in a bit. Hold on. Do I have the coins for that? Let me see. Hang on tight. Hang on tight, everybody. Okay. And then, let me see here. Coin matrix. Okay. We can do both. Although, let me do it in the other order. Let me swap them. Okay, cool. All right. Okay, all right. So here we've got 4 coins, and then it will need 4 cards, because we're going to do the regular one first. And we're going to put the 4 coins into 4 corners of like a rectangle. And then we're going to use the 4 cards, and we're going to cover each coin with a card. And in doing so, all right, we'll start that over. We're going to cover each coin with a card. And in doing so, we are going to make the coins teleport from corner to corner, and it'll happen quick. So here we go. We'll make this one jump from here to there. It happens pretty quick. So there's 1. Make this one jump up there. There's 2, and then make this one jump over here. There's 3. All right. So that was the basic coin matrix. That was with cards, and so now I want to do the one where we are not going to be using any cards, but just my hands. And so here we go. I'm going to make that habit 1. Do this here. Make that jump at 2. Use the Force, Neo. Danger, danger, Will Robinson, says the Daleks. And now, so there's 3 over here and only 1 over there. And so this is the last one. And there we go. There we have it. That, my friends, is the cardless coin matrix. Yeah, I mostly just do that every stream so I can keep it fresh, because it's like the only it's the only non-card trick that I do, so. Gotta keep it fresh. Thank you kindly for the claps. E-Room, Orion Send. Alright, let's see here. Oh yeah, I don't know if I did, let's see. There's this trick that I don't really want to do, but because I've messed it up on stream so many times. Lord knows I've given away the secrets of magic for this trick so many times. Let's take a minute to tell you about how all these cards got flipped all upside down. Man, if I ever get that trick all up and running, we could totally theme it as the Fresh Prince. That would be awesome. All right, so I have two cards right here. They are two magic cards. So here's the mountains and the mountain and the swamp that we saw earlier. And so here, if I go ahead and I place the swamp down here, and I have the mountain up here, I don't know if you know, but if I just go ahead and go 1, 2, 3, you guys didn't see anything. All right. We are probably not meant to do that one. Is the scandaling over? Checking the gaff meter. Yes. Welcome back. The scandaling is over. The scandaling has been over for a little bit, but yes. For anybody who missed it, I shuffled two decks together wearing these gloves. So yes. All right. Let me try that again. All right, so here we've got two cards, two magic cards. So we've got the mountain and the swamp. So look, I'm going to go ahead and leave the swamp down here, but if I hold the mountain right here, we're just going to go 1, 2, 3. I don't know if you saw, but that changed from the mountain to the swamp. You're probably wondering where the mountain is, and look, if I show you, this is the mountain. There we go. You didn't see anything. Shh. All right. Oh, perfect. Doggo is walked. Wow, that had to be impressive. It was, from my end, partially torturous, partially hilarious. And then I think to everybody in chat, they were like, wow, this is hilarious. Or ridiculous. So, uh, I managed. We made it through. We made it through. Awesome. Yeah, and then I complained, like, why? So, like, Scandal Shuffling was never about choosing the other conditions. It was just about choose two decks and then I just determine how to shuffle them together. And then it has transformed into this thing. And I blame eRoom. So that's impressive on a technical level. Super impressive. Yeah, so anyway, I've messed up that trick on stream several times. But here, we'll do it with the clear plastic cards. Or at least we'll do part of it. So this is a color change. So actually, let me do it with the regular cards first. All right, so this is called a color change. So basically, I'm going to make this card, Five of Clubs, change from the Five of Clubs to something else. And I could give it some cover by just putting my hand over it. Wait. I could just give it some cover by putting my hand over it. Okay, there we go. That's horrible. All right, we're going to do it again. Here we go. All right, that looked a little bit better. But anyway, so now we're going to do it with the clear cards. I don't mind giving this away because this is something I messed up on stream so many times. But you can also have some appreciation for like how much time and effort it takes for perfecting like a sleight. So this could be considered a sleight. So it's a color change as a sleight. And so here's the same move, but I'll cover with my hand. All right. And at the end, you can kind of see where the other card ends up. I will show you. It is basically here in this position. So as you get better, you may not need to cover. It kind of depends on the state of my fingers and how I'm feeling that day and the cards or whatever. But like, so you could do it like this, and that looks pretty good. But what you could do is just to hide like the sound, you're supposed to flick for the corner, and that sound that you make will be masked by the flick of the corner. And so that's probably how it's supposed to look. That would have been perfect. I had that clear deck. You did? Really? Okay, so this is the clear deck. So I have like 6 clear decks. This is the one that I think works out the best for most tricks because, yeah. So anyway, but yeah, so obviously I'm holding 2 as 1. I performed the snap change, and then there we go. Wow, this one I almost could hide it, almost, but you can kind of see it, like right there. Let's do, so yeah, the reason why, because it's both symmetrical that way and this way, and then it's also symmetrical when it's facing the opposite direction, which is why I chose this for Magic. There's another deck that is kind of okay, but it's not printed as well. So I basically, and then there's another one where it's very hard to see. But yeah, let's do something with the clear plastic cards. Free redeem, guys. All right, so let me put in here twisting the aces. Okay. All right, so what I have here are 4 aces. And what I want to do with these 4 aces is I want to turn them all face up, but only 1 card at a time. And I'm not allowed to do it like this because that's how regular people would do it. That's not magical. So instead what I want to do is I want to hold the packet and give it a magical twist. So I'm going to hold the packet, give it a magical twist. And if I show you, the ace of hearts will be face up. Here's the ace of hearts. I'll do this very slow. Now this is the part that gets people, and I think it looks fine here too. So if I close up the packet and give it another magical twist, ace of hearts will turn itself face down, ace of clubs will turn itself face up. So I'll go as slow as I can, make it look very nice, very convincing. And so there, my friends, is the ace of clubs. Now I'm going to hold the packet, give it a magical twist. Ace of diamonds will turn itself face up. There's our ace of diamonds. Then we have one more to hit up, the ace of spades, I think. But even if I give 1 magical twist, all of the cards will be face down. Even if I get 2 magical twists, some people are like, yo, 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 you just gave it 3 magical twists. And I'm like, you can do math. Very basic math. But actually, if we just snap, it will turn itself face up because there it is. Orion says, and that's why I had it per recommendation. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's very interesting that somebody else recommended this deck for whatever reasons. So yeah, there it is. So that was twisting the aces with clear plastic cards. Let me see if this other one will work with this as well. So actually, okay. So we have ace of hearts, clubs, and diamonds and spades. Now, if I was to go ahead and turn all these cards over and place the ace of clubs in here, you'll be able to see the ace of clubs still there, right? Okay. But now, if I give it a shake, I can turn the ace of clubs face down. So here we go. All of them are face down. And now I can give it a shake, and actually that will turn a different one face up. So here we've got the ace of hearts. Actually, wait. I'm mixing up my tricks. I think I do this first. There we go. Okay. And now if I give it a shake, that should turn up a different ace. Ace of clubs. Okay, there we go. And now if I shake this, and this is the part I'm nervous about here. Shake. That should change into the ace of diamonds. Okay, and now let's see how this goes. Place this back into here. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and show you all of the cards are face down. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then watch magicians can turn these cards over very quickly. Don't watch this one, watch that one. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, there we go. But not just that one, actually I've flipped all of the aces over. So there we go. Alright, that was not bad, I think. There was like 2 parts where I was like a little nervous that the clearness, and I think if I just went faster it wouldn't be an issue, but Yeah, I'd say that one went pretty well for the most part. Let me see here. That was shaking. Okay. Thank you, Kylie, for the claps. E-room. What else can we do? Oh, actually, we can do one more with these aces here. Okay, so it's going to be similar to the last trick, but so to demonstrate, this will be a trick in which if I hold the aces and I shake them, one of them will turn face up. So that's kind of the... Alright, so hold the packet, shake it, and here we go. So one of them should turn face up. Ace of diamonds. Okay, all of them are face down. Hold the packet, shake it. Ace of clubs. We have all of the cards face down. Hold the packet, shake it, and that will turn up. Ace of hearts. Then we've got one more to hit up. All of them are face down. Hold the packet, shake it. Ace of spades. And here we have all of the aces. And that's how you use 1, 2, 3, 4 aces, holding it and shaking it, and that's how the magic happens. But actually, we got one more thing with these. So all of these cards are facing in the same direction, right? They're not, it's none that are facing in the wrong direction. But if I go ahead and I take these aces and I cut them into the middle of this deck, and because there's enough layers, you actually can't see through it, even though they are clear. But if you could see everything while I'm shaking this, some of those aces are turning back over because look, if I spread now, if we take a look right here in the middle, we have 4 face-up aces. All right. Whew. There we go. And that was another trick. There we go. Okay. Okay. All right. So let's see. Big Ducky Snow, welcome in. How's it going? Guys, if you're not following our friend Steven, aka Big Ducky Snow, please give Big Ducky Snow a follow. Productivity streamer that has recently just been doing a lot of karaoke streams. So please give our friend Steven, Big Ducky Snow, a follow. I'm a waddle off into bed now. Just wanted to pop in and say hi. Love you all for quacking so much. I hope you stay awesome. Peace, love, light, many hugs, and much bread to you, all you awesome humans. And hope our paths will cross again before long. See you around the bend. Big year-ending stream tomorrow at 12 p.m. Definitely catch Big Ducky Snow tomorrow at 12. All right. Let's see here. Did I? Oh yeah. And then let me see here. Did I miss anybody else? I know it's been generally a quiet night tonight. Oh yeah. Speaking of singers, if you guys are not following our friend Kuyasai, Cyrus, Kuyasai Music, musician, piano, singing, guitar. So definitely give Kuyasai a follow. And then also, if you're not following our friend and mod Gibson Lens, please give Gibson Lens a follow. Gibson Lens watching Christmas movies tonight. All right, cool. So, let's see. I'm going to. So, if there aren't any other requests in the queue, I'm going to choose a finale trick. Then we'll do that, and then we can find somebody to raid, and then we'll raid out. Also, if you've been sitting around for a while and you haven't hydrated, please hydrate. I forgot to remind people all night, but yeah. Hydrating, important. Okay, so let's see here. Lately, my trick lists, my tricks have been pretty consistent. I usually do somewhere between like 14 to 18 tricks in like a given 2.5 hour stream ish. So basically, there was also a string of like 4 streams almost in a row where it was like 2 hours and 22 or 23 minutes. So I was like, wow, I was super consistent for a little bit. All right, let me figure out what I want to do for a finale. And then we will go from there. Let's do Dazed tonight. Okay. And E-Room asked, what thrift store did I find the ornament at? I did answer that I didn't find an ornament. You didn't have to AMA that. I'm actually going to give you points back for that, E-Room. All right. Cool. So let's go ahead and turn off the queue. Let's put in Dazed. And then let's... Oh, nice. Thanks. Yeah, yeah. Honestly, if you just want to ask a question, if I didn't see a question, Erum, you can just like ask it again in chat. It's fine. I usually think that people say AMA for like either if they're not like regulars or they haven't been around or um like if it's some weird question that's like if it's just like a normal question, it's fine. You can just ask it in chat. I usually answer most questions, I think, if it's not like too personal or offensive or anything. I'd like to think I'm a pretty open guy, and I think if you met me in person, I'd probably be more open. But it's just the whole like doxing on the internet thing, and like personal safety, that kind of stuff. So, all right. Anyway, thank you everybody for coming out and hanging out with me tonight. My apologies for both the technical issues at the beginning of the stream. I know it was like a little bit slower pace tonight, but I was kind of feeling a little lazy. And then I was talking about some of my new puzzles. I know we went on a tangent about the Mandela effect a little bit. But anyway, thank you so much to everybody who came out and hung out with me. Thank you so much if you interacted with the stream, whether you requested a trick, chat in a chat, threw emotes in there, uh, clicked on the heat map to choose a card. Thank you so much. Um, Thank you to all of the lurkers out there, because magic is one of those rare art forms where if I am practicing magic at home, there's no magic happening. The magic has to happen in your mind. And if you thought that any of this was like deals with the devil or black magic or sorcery, that's not true. It can all be achieved with sleight of hand magic. And if you still insist that it is real magic, I would claim this anyway because perfect cover story. Um, let's see. And guys, if you're not following our friend and mod Gibson Lens, please give Gibson Lens a follow. Gibson Lens is a pianist and sight reads from a bunch of songbooks that he owns. Also plays VGM, popular music, esoteric music. Also composes a bunch of his own originals and working on an album. So definitely give Gibson Lens a follow. Um, and then once again, Adam, thank you for the bits today. Greatly appreciate it. And let's see. If anybody wants to see more of me and I'm not around on Twitch, although it is the holidays, so there is a chance that you'll see me randomly. I don't have any planned schedules. It's just kind of like whenever I have the time and can and feel like it. I might pop up. It's probably going to be in the late evening time, Eastern time, though, so it probably won't be like during the day or anything. Doing Christmas stuff, hanging out with the family kind of thing happening during the day. But if you want to see more of me anyway, check me out on YouTube. That's my YouTube channel. I have almost 300 magic performances on YouTube. If you want to see the VODs after they fall for tension here, I basically just put them up on my YouTube. Um, the videos are unlisted, but this playlist is public, so that's where all of the VODs are. Um, but yeah, so that's that. And then I also like to succeed on my finale trick. So if I mess this finale trick up, we're doing another finale. But other than that, that will be it. So, all right, here we go. So I've got a packet of cards here, and we have there's a 6 of diamonds. Here's a queen of clubs, and then these other 4 cards. If I show you the backs, they look normal. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. But when I turn them over, you're going to see that there's something weird. They're also backs, which is weird. 1, 2, 3, and 4. This one's a little bit strange because it is blank. So this is like the blank before they print the face on the card that you might see at the factory. But if I show you the other 3 cards, they are backs on both sides. But they have a strange property. And the property is if I actually reflect them over another card. So if I pull the 6 of diamonds over, if I just kind of reflect it over the 6 of diamonds, something strange happens. Actually, all of the cards turn into 6 of diamonds. See, because now there's 1, 2, 3, 4 sixes of diamonds. That's weird. That's strange. But maybe not too surprising yet. But here's the part where it gets weird. So now if I grab the queen of clubs, and if I hold this and reflect this over the queen of clubs, some people would say, oh, the queen of clubs would then jump up to the top, right? And that's not really the case because now that the jig is up, you know what happens. All of the cards in the packet turn into the queen of clubs. See, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4 queens of clubs. I know, is that weird? That's super weird, right? And so right now you can kind of still tell that all the cards in the packet are still queens of clubs. But this card is super bizarre because if you'll see that it's still like that up until I touch it like this. Now all of the cards are blank. I know that's really hard to believe, but look. So now every card is blank. And some people ask me, oh, well, now I want to see the backs of those cards. And to that I would say, sure. Here are the backs. And that, my friends, I'll say is a successful finale. All right. Cool, cool. Orion says, rad. Thank you kindly for the claps. Orion and E-Room for the Cookie Monster claps. All right. So with that, we can find somebody else to raid. Let's see. Where are we going to go tonight? We have a lot of the usual suspects. Let's see here. There's some other people. Let's see who else I can. Hey, there's someone that I haven't been able to raid in a while because I think it's because she hasn't been raiding. She hasn't been streaming in a bit. Hold on, let me just see how long she's been going on for. It looks like. Well, it's funny. Okay, so only for an hour. Okay, so we can go over there. All right, so I found our raid target. And actually, she's playing a game that I am vaguely interested in playing one day. But if anybody would like to copy a raid call, here's a raid call. Here's a sub raid call. We're going to be raiding our friend Cashmere Feline. If you guys are not familiar with Cashmere Feline um, streamed productivity streams in the past, working on her dissertation, and then also she'll game. You'll oftentimes find her at like Chris M's Fall Guy stream. So let's go ahead and raid on over there, and say hi. Oh, let me copy a raid call too. All right, cool. All right. Okay, so the raid is now ready. Anyway, thank you so much to everybody who decided to come out and hang out with me. Hopefully you had fun. I did. I did have a chill time because I was like, oh man, this is good because I messed up a couple of times and I had the technical difficulty. Man, there's nothing like a bummer like technical difficulties at the beginning of stream. So anyway, thanks for sticking out with me. Thanks for hanging out. Everybody, take care. Have a glorious night and take care, and we'll see you around. I should be around next week for my normal schedule, and then if you catch me between now and then, it's bonus time. So, all right. Okay, everybody, we'll see you guys. All right. Bye.